Hey guys, Sheila here with writing your first book. If this is the first time you've ever been here, I say welcome. If you are a subscriber, I say welcome back. We got lots and lots of stuff going on right now, but I just want to give you a little bit of information, especially if this is the first time you've been here. My name is Sheila Texter. I am a pastor's wife here in Blytheville, Arkansas. I also minister and evangelize as much as I am able to go and do with all that's going on. But I am also an author. I have wrote 3 books actually, but one is an ebook. One is on the KDP format and on Amazon about how to be a writer. But my first book, Life After the Mistake, I started writing it in February of 2019. And in June of 2020, I think it was June, July, somewhere in there, it was published. And it has been a phenomenal book. I've got nothing but great reviews on it. You know, everybody's they're just crazy about it. And everybody messages me privately. Because it's a very touchy subject. It's a very touchy subject. It is a memoir. It's about my life. And, you know, it's a little touchy. So sometimes people don't just say stuff out on Facebook or out in the media for everybody to read. They will message me privately and, you know, and give me honor and tell me how much they enjoyed this and that they love me and they're praying for me. So, you know, and I'm okay with that. It's really, really okay. But my other book is How to Be Prosperous. It's a 31-day devotional. I have just got through writing a second devotional called How to Be Intentional with Your Words. I have sent that to my proofreader / editor friend that's helping me with that. She's not quite started on it yet because we are in the middle of trying to get a calendar done to kind of go with the bee theme, the bee ministry. That's what we're working on right now and going to try to get them done so I can get them in at least by June, July, so I can start promoting them, start trying to get them sold. But every Wednesday for right now, I have been reading, I don't know, for 4 or 5 months now probably. I've been reading out of my books. And on Wednesdays, I've been reading out of this book. And on Fridays, I've been reading out of my devotional. But my plan is to have 12 devotionals. I'm hoping by the end of 2022, I will have all 12 of these done. But I'm going to have to get on the ball if I'm going to do that because we're already into May of this year and I haven't even published the second one yet. So I got to get on the ball. I've got some things I got planned out for the summer. You know, one thing that's been going on is my grandson does virtual schooling. And so that's kind of helped me up some because the first part of last year, like from August till December, I was very involved in his daily routine and helping him and trying to help him comprehend what they were asking and the routine and things like that. It's not been as bad, you know, this year when we started back in 2021. Because he was just a little more aware of what was going on and how to access things. But at the same time, during that time, I also had took a computer class, and I am taking a computer class now. I only took one last year, and I took one for the spring, and it's fixing to be over, I think, sometime next month in May. That'll be over, and I'm not taking no classes this summer. My plan this summer is to revise this book right here. I'm going to get this book revised. I'm going to add a chapter to it. The reason I'm going to revise it is because the ISBN. I chose one of their free ISBNs, but you know what? That was where I was at, and that's what I could do at the time, and so that's what I did. I chose a free ISBN for this, and I'm going to revise it, though, and delete the old one and put the new one out and put it on my, and have my own ISBN, which is an International Standard Book Number, which simply means that I can take my book and put it on any other platform I want to. But right now, as long as Kindle Direct Publishing owns those rights to that book. I can't take it nowhere else. Now, I get my royalties, yeah, but I can't take it to any other platform. And I want to be able to put my book on different platforms and give it a chance, give it a winning chance, guys. But anyway, but today, my grandson is at school because they are testing. They're doing their ACT Spire test. So he goes today and tomorrow. He and the kids that were going to school, the face-to-face students, they will stay home. And the children that are testing, that are virtual students, they go to school today. So I'm kind of enjoying that little bit of break, a little bit of break. I've already had a very, very busy morning, and that's okay. And I've got another busy, I got a busy day. Around 10:30, I am having a Zoom meeting with my editor, my proofreader / editor, and one of her designing friends, that we're going to talk about my calendar that I'm trying to get designed so I can have a calendar to sell that would represent my business and represent, you know, what I stand for and the inspirational, motivational things that I try to bring, you know, to the world, to people. I just want to encourage somebody. I want to help somebody today. But we have been reading out of this book every Wednesday now for 4 or 5 months. So I'm going to read today in chapter 10. And I think there is 11 chapters. So this week and next week, then I will be able to, my plan is to proceed on. If you hear somebody outside, it could be the garbage truck picking up the garbage, I'm not sure. But my plan is to proceed on in this channel about writing your first book. Guys, the little book that is on Amazon, on the Kindle Direct Publishing platform, and is for sale on Amazon, How to Be a Writer, and the B is B-E-E. It ain't but $5.99. It's $5.99, guys, and it is so full of information that would help you. But listen, on May the 6th through May the 13th, it's going to go on sale for $1.99 to start with, and in about 3.5 days into it, it will go to $3.99, and then after 7 days, it will go back to $5.99. So guys, be watching for that. You'll be able to get that book for $1.99, downloaded ebook. I mean, you're talking about a golden nugget. It really, really is. It really is. I wish I'd have knew half the stuff that I put in that book when I first started writing my first book. So we're going to go into this, Life After the Mistake. This was my first book. We're reading chapter 10. Chapter 10, the name of chapter 10 is The Calling. Now, over here on the side, I always have scriptures. There's a picture and a scripture before each chapter. And this is in Jeremiah 33:3. Call unto me, and I will answer thee, and show thee great and mighty things which thou knowest not. And I love the Word of God. It's so powerful. All right, chapter 10, The Calling. We went to Bible for a calling, not just so we could say we had a church. My husband had the call to pastor for many years. Life happened, as it often does. Many setbacks and heartaches marked the way along this journey. We had a dream of starting a work, not just a church. Even though we are so grateful for the little red brick building, we know that it's not our final stop. The city of Blytheville has several vacant buildings, and we continue to look for a bigger building. My husband wants to fulfill the call that God placed in his life. He wants to build a Christian school, a place to have events like conferences and seminars. We want to teach people that you can reign as kings and priests for the glory of God. Price Chopper, the old supermarket building, was one of the buildings that we were drawn to. It was a radical move of faith that was seen by hundreds of people when my husband announced that was the place. We began to go by that property regularly. We would speak to it, we would pray over it, and then give God praise. After a few weeks, Kenneth began to share his vision of marching around the building like they did around the walls of Jericho. We didn't record it at first, but then we decided to let the public know what our hearts were longing for. Week 3, week 4, and so on. Facebook was loaded with post shares, comments, all encouraging us. Every week I would go with him and do a Facebook Live video. When people would ask, "Have you got the building yet?" my husband would simply say, "Not yet." During the weeks of marching around the building, there was great expectancy. We called to inquire about the price. The $1 million they were asking did not discourage my husband. Every Sunday, he would excitedly tell our assembly about the great revelations that God was sharing with him. One in particular was how God told him to go buy this property without money. He sees the amount as no concern to him. He said that God only needs him to believe. So believe is what we're going to do. I apologize again for the trash truck. It's picking up trash. It's Wednesday, and so everything's kind of quiet in the house, and you can hear that truck, out there, and I apologize for that. While we are still in the season of waiting, we are continuing to work and reach for the lost souls. My passion to work in the kingdom continues to burn in my soul. God's timing is different from our timing. A ladies' Bible study was one of my goals. God had opened my eyes to so many biblical truths about how to live in perfect peace and victory no matter what was happening in your life. He had changed me, and my desire was to share that. I longed to have meetings to share the Word of God. We had a few women's gatherings at our new church building. It did not have a dining area. It's good to have a place to have refreshments and a place to write down information when you're having a meeting. We had several ladies that wanted to come as soon as there was a place to come. And most of them were from the area where we were living at the time, so we searched for a place in our local town. During this time, Kenneth worked for a company that was bringing a 4-lane highway through this town, which caused him to befriend a lot of farmers and business people. And when you are messing with people's yards or land, it can get very touchy. God always let my husband find favor with them. So when he asked one of his new friends if they knew of a place his wife could hold some Bible studies, he was so emotional when this man offered him a building that would be perfect. We only needed it for 2 hours a week for 6 to 8 weeks, and again, God provided. Next, I desired to host a ladies' retreat. This longing was to do something that would make a difference in someone's life. I found that hosting these events made my heart feel full and so fulfilled. But somehow I felt held back. I was not sure of the resistance that was present, but sometimes God will block things until His perfect time. With my pastor's approval, the retreat was finally scheduled. With the pastor, my husband, we were excited to say the least. Several of my close friends that shared those visions with me helped to bring this event together, making it a very successful retreat. 25 ladies gathered together with one purpose. The God of second chances was the theme. God sees your desires. He sees the longing to make a difference, the longing to fulfill your callings. I know from experience that He will open the doors for you when the time is right. My goal was to awaken sleeping giants in their lives. It was targeted at women that had either failed God before or after they came to know Him. Women who had a bullseye on their back. For those who felt failure, despair, and undeserving of God's great mercy. This retreat was just the beginning of more events to come. This great accomplishment, it helped grow my faith, expectancy, and drive even more. Am I doing all that is in my heart? Not yet. But I am working toward those things. Writing this book fulfilled one of the goals that I wrote down on my list. Another project on my list was to start a blog to share the great truths that has turned my life around. And the blog is centered around a theme that was dropped in my spirit back in 2017. If we could go back to my memories on Facebook, you would even see then that it was a very big part of my way of asking, seeking, and knocking. Some people would say, don't put your goals or dreams on social media. I agree somewhat to that philosophy. But just as Joseph shared his dreams with his brothers, sometimes we need to share ours. Yes, Joseph was sold into slavery, lied on, put into prison. I don't believe he would have started his journey to be a prince over Egypt without the process. So pray about what you share for sure, because I still have things that I've not shared publicly. But sharing these dreams and goals on social media allows not only me to look back and remember how they came to pass, but it can also show others what God can do. It's a sure way for God to get the glory. And then, if you've been following me any at all and you've watched me read some of these, at the end, of course you won't be able to tell what that says, but at the end of some of these chapters there was like going to be blank pages. So me and my editor, we kind of, brainstormed and decided to put like some good quotes and of course give the people credit that said them. And I tried to match the quote with the chapter. And this chapter was called The Calling. And so this here says this: when Christ calls a man, he bids him come and die. Not come and dine, but come and die. When Christ calls a man, he bids him come and die. What a powerful quote, statement. But guys, next week I will be back and we will read the last chapter. We'll be reading the last chapter of this book. And then I'm going to do some deep diving on writing your first book, self-publishing, the things that I've learned. And by no means do I know it all, but I'm going to learn. I'm going to learn. And right now, I want to give a shout out. If you've watched it this far, I'm asking you to subscribe to my channel, like it, share it, comment on it. Help me get this content out there because, guys, it is very, very good content. It's encouraging, it's inspirational, and it's motivational. If you could only see and know where I came from and where I am today, you would know that God's hand is on my life. But I just want to give a shout out to you, to a couple of other YouTubers that I follow. I like their stuff, I share it, I comment on it, and I'm doing my best to connect with them and to get myself, in alignment with them. That hey, I'm going to do everything I can to grow my channel and to learn more. But it's MK Williams, self-publishing. All things self-publishing. She shares so much good stuff, and I've learned so much from her. She's one of the first ones I started watching a couple of years ago. And Dale Roberts. Dale was self-publishing also. Both of them awesome. They just did an interview. She got to interview him here, I think this past week, and I watched that interview, and man, it was so good. It blessed me and it encouraged me to listen to Dale's start, where he started at and how he, what all he did to get where he was, and where he is today. And guys, I'm telling you, they are both great channels. Go check them out. Subscribe to their channels, especially if you are planning on writing books, being an author, and being in self-publishing. I'm telling you, they have great content. They really do. Hey guys, I'm going to get off here today. I've done been on here almost 20 minutes. Please forgive me if my breathing seems like I'm swallowing a lot, I know, but it's sinuses. It is springtime here in Blytheville, Arkansas in 2021. It's very, you know, it's pollinating. It's not raining, it's pollinating. So guys, but anyway, subscribe to my channel, like it, share it, and stay tuned. I'll be back Friday. I will be reading out of How to Be Prosperous, and I'm getting close to being through with that. And then but my plan is to every Wednesday and Friday, I put out videos about my writing journey, about my devotionals, my books, and I try to encourage you and give you information and little insights. But until Friday, guys, y'all have a great week, and I love you guys. I appreciate you. See you later.